But for me, I need 25 weeks. 25 weeks, I can make Brandon top three again.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Brandon Curry. Specifically his former coach Abdullah making this revelation that he was actually the one who did not want to coach Brandon Curry anymore. Simply because Brandon is at a point in his life or in his career where he won't be able to fight for the Olympia title anymore. And the thing is, all of us already know that. And that isn't the case just with him. The best days of both these great champions, Big Ramy and Brandon Curry, they are behind them. But the most shocking part was that when he said that Brandon right now is of the same size as Chris Cormier. And this episode was recorded when we were about 13 weeks out of this year's Miss Olympia.
This time I'm not with the Brandon. Last week, Brandon sent me a message and he tried to call me. I told him, I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm sorry again. I can't prepare you this time because my heart and my mind say no. And I don't have magic. If I have magic, I go with him. But I don't have magic. I know, Brandon, how you look like now. I know exactly how you look like. Maybe like same Chris Cormier, or maybe smaller.
Oh,
I know.
Come on.
So what do you say? Chris Cormier is bigger than him now?
I think so.
Damn right.
Chris.
Because
Which also poses a real question. Will Brandon be able to make it to the Olympia stage this year or not? Especially if he hasn't even started his prep. So Abdullah, his former coach, said that Brandon isn't that type of physique that can get ready in like 10 weeks time. So even if Brandon somehow makes it to the big stage, will he be close to his personal best? Now Brandon does intend to come to Oxygen Gym Kuwait for this prep as well. And if you guys remember, last year he was in Kuwait at around 16 to 17 weeks out mark. And this year we haven't even seen a single progress update from him. So Brandon and Abdullah have achieved great things together, winning the Arnold, winning the Miss Olympia title, and placing runner-up multiple times at the Olympia. And we have to keep in mind, this is a guy who was placing dead last up until 2016. And then he went on to win the Olympia title just 3 years later. So Brandon is gonna be the most experienced guy up there if he's able to make it to the Olympia stage. Because the thing is, he made his Olympia debut back in 2011. And for perspective, that was the year when Heath won his first title. So he is at the tail end of his career. But Brandon not being at his best was still good enough to place him top 4 in the world. So where did you guys see him place this year? Can you repeat that 4th place performance again?
So you think it's not enough time? Doesn't matter who helps him now.
no, 13 weeks now, 12 weeks. The last weeks from show, 11 weeks. I don't have magic.
The legend Heath is putting out some great content lately. So it seems like he's back to training more frequently. So the roundness that he has right now, it isn't obviously as close to what it looked like back when he was in his prime. But still, the man is looking better and better with each passing week. So I came across this little clip of Heath at 2013 Miss Olympia Expo. And you can just see right there why he was called a gift. He was round and 3D beyond belief, especially in his prime days. And the videos or the pictures cannot do justice to Heath, especially in comparison to how he would have looked like in person. So that 2013 Miss Olympia performance of Heath, that is considered one of the most dominating performances by Heath in his Miss Olympia history, or in the history of bodybuilding for that matter. Because he just walked all over the competition at that show, and that was Phil's favorite physique as well. So the fans became kinda bored of him winning the title over and over again for 7 consecutive years, and that is why everyone wanted to see him lose. And that is actually one of the major reasons why Heath received so much hate, especially in the last 2 or 3 years of his career as a champion. But looking back at him and his insanely dominating run, he had godly genetics, and at his best, there may be just one Miss Olympia who could have beat him, and that's Ronnie Coleman. And there is a mutual consensus on that. So Heath is gonna be turning 45 this year, and it's great to see him in very good spirits, and overall very healthy and way more athletic than before. Next up is the off-season physique update from Marcelo, aka Horse Md from Brazil. So his back is the area where he needs to work on the most after his last show, which was the Arnold Classic Ohio. And Horse Md is really confident that he's going to be successful in doing that. I mean, that is why he's putting out a back update, which is his weakest shot. So this is the heaviest Horse Md has pushed in the off-season, and he looks reasonably lean as well. So Horse Md really was the most hyped up guy going into this year's Arnold. And I have to say he was overhyped. And I am also the one who contributed to that hype as well. He was making top 3 or top 4 in almost every prediction before this year's Arnold. And that wasn't just based on his updates leading into this year's Arnold. It was based on the fact that he was able to beat a guy like Nathan Diesha, who has the most number of IFB Pro wins in the current roster of IFB Pros. And that happened at Romania Pro last year. So Marcelo looked better in every aspect at Romania Pro, especially in comparison to what he looked like at this year's Arnold. He was in a far better condition at his first ever pro show than he was at this year's Arnold. But I have to say, even if he looked as good in Ohio as he did at Romania, he would not have been able to make top 7 even then, because all those guys, they brought their absolute A game, and Horse Md just lost too much ground in the back shots. So will Horse Md compete again in 2024? I have to say that seems highly unlikely. He needs at least 1 year of solid off-season. He needs to put more thickness, more density in his back to match up to his front. So Horse Md does have some good aspects to his physique. For instance, he has massive quad sweep. He has great arms as well. His ultimate goal is to qualify for Miss Olympia, and I think he could have a shot next year. Dubai Pro is happening in just 2 weeks now, so add another guy in that lineup, and that is Sibu Horse, who posted his 2 weeks out physique update, and also making it official that he is in for that show. So this wasn't a last minute entry, he hinted about it at 6 weeks out as well. But just because we did not see any physique updates or any training updates for that matter, people really didn't talk about him. So this is gonna be one of the toughest shows for Sibu Horse so far. So he was there at Van Pro 2019, where Hadi Choopan defeated Nathan Diesha and Ian Valier. But that was Hadi just transitioning into the men's open class, and people did not have a single idea that this is gonna be the guy who's gonna be Miss Olympia soon in the men's open. So Samson Dauda was also there in that show, but he wasn't a big name back then. So considering that Sibu has been competing as a pro since 2019, we can say he's sort of a veteran now. And based on that fact, he should deliver a good performance here. So his biggest problem has always been his conditioning. He hasn't been able to peak 100% right in any of his past shows. That guy has amazing symmetry, he has amazing shape and flow, but he just cannot get shredded. But at least that is what we haven't seen from him so far. So I'm not gonna lie, the lineup for this Dubai Pro, that is a tough one. And if Sibu misses his mark, he's gonna be outside of the top 5 for sure. Is Hadi Choopan making another future bodybuilding champion? So this kid that you guys are watching here pose with Hadi Choopan, that is actually Hadi's eldest son. And he is doing those things at such a young age that you can say he can be a future professional bodybuilder. And the thing is, these things all need to be done in order to do that. So imagine Hadi Choopan himself motivating and pushing him for his workouts, for his training, and his son can witness firsthand what Hadi Choopan does all day, every day, in order to be at that level where he is at today, in order to be Miss Olympia. So I tried to find out the age of his son, but I could not get any information. But as young as he is, he's doing really good. Plus the fact that he's gonna have those Persian genetics, that will definitely allow him to be a great bodybuilder if he goes down that road. So Hadi Choopan himself is just 36 years old, and he is just at the prime of his career. Now we cannot really predict the future, but the thing is, most guys start to go downhill after they hit 40. So Hadi is making sure that the future generation is ready. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.